Om Jnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. On this platform, a devotee can remain as a preacher. We see many devotees, they take to Krishna consciousness. In the beginning, they're distributing books or doing some preaching activities. Then after some time, they go back. And they may go on with their Krishna consciousness, but not in the fire of preaching, not at the forefront. So why will they lapse back? Because they have not cultivated the vision that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants all living beings within this universe saved by Krishna consciousness. They haven't cultivated that feeling that why are people suffering? Let us try to help them. So a devotee who is preaching is in a better position than those who are simply cultivating Krishna consciousness for their own benefit. This whole Krishna conscious movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is set up by Srila Prabhupada to fulfill the inner desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he could remain in the spiritual world and do his chanting and dancing and feelings of separation from Krishna. But he came here, the only reason that he came here, otherwise everything else he can do anywhere else. But he came here specifically to lift up the conditioned souls. And his innermost desire is that this Krishna consciousness be spread to every living being in the universe. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his mercy, he's doing that through his followers, that we may also become purified. We may become purified by taking up the Krishna conscious movement and spreading it town to town, village to village, person to person. So we should try for that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jare dekho tare kaha Krishna upadesh, amar aggai guru hoya taro idesh. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, inject them with Krishna consciousness. Give them some knowledge. Give them a book. Give them some prasad. Tell them something about Krishna. This is the mood of a preacher, that we're meeting people, we're not simply trying to take their money, and we're not even simply trying to just give them a book and forget them. But we want that every person we come in contact with will make some advancement in Krishna consciousness. So this mood of a preacher and this mood we want to develop, that just like now we're having a seminar. Why are we having a seminar? So that devotees, they can become fixed in Krishna consciousness themselves, and so they will have knowledge of Krishna consciousness to go and teach others. Every devotee in Krishna consciousness is meant to be a guru. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Amar aggai guru hoya taro idesh means everyone, you're learning about Krishna consciousness, then you have to teach to others. That will please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promises, Kabuna badive tomaye bishoy taranga punarapi aitai pave morashanga. That anyone who takes up this preaching of Krishna consciousness, that he will not be affected by the modes of material nature. Of course, the waves of material life, they are there. We can't, this adhyatmika, the bhautika, the daivika, this Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, all these material influences are there. But a devotee who sticks to the principle of pleasing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by preaching his message, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promises that you will not be overcome by the waves of material life. But he promises you will get my association. He promises to give his association to such a devotee. So everyone should take up this preaching mood of Krishna consciousness in whatever capacity they can. Not everyone is going to be on the level of Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. There's some great devotees there on such a level. But everyone within his capacity. If you can go out and distribute books, do it. If you're cleaning the floor in the temple, so that one thing, Krishna will be pleased, you have to keep his temple clean. Another thing, people will come, they will be pleased also to see the nice temple. But even you're cleaning the floor, people come, you can say Hare Krishna to them, show them the books. Everyone should be in this consciousness. Housewife is home, she's bringing up the children, teaching them to be Krishna conscious. That's also preaching. Charity begins at home. So, among ourselves, preach Krishna consciousness, have classes. Prabhupada said in our temples, there should be continuous kirtan. That means chanting or classes to create this mood of kirtan means glorification of Krishna. So the glorification of Krishna, that is supposed to spread from our temples and around, throughout the town and throughout the city area, through the village areas, into different homes. We have a good enough job here in Gujarat. It's a big enough state. If you're here, of course there are so many other parts of India, but somehow or other by Krishna's arrangement, we're all here now. And now these programs are starting up by Krishna's grace. Krishna, in the form of his devotees, have consented that they'll be providing some buses, and also devotees have been inspired by Krishna within the heart to start this bullock cart program. Prabhupada also very much wanted this. He was very keen for this. In the villages we should have bullock carts going. So there's enough opportunity to keep us all busy, either walking village to village or driving town to town, going in people's homes, speaking to them about Krishna, convincing them to chant, speaking to them about the philosophy. We have enough work to do just to convince people that your goal of life is to understand Krishna. Here is Krishna. Krishna is directly presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Take one set of books, read it, follow the instructions, become Krishna conscious at home. This chapter is entitled Ideal Family Life. So the devotees of Krishna consciousness, they're going to the families and asking people, take one set of books and become Krishna conscious. So these sets of books you're selling, anyone who takes a set of books, we should know the special person. To take a whole set of books, they have to spend some money. And money is sweeter than honey. People, they like money. Money you can spend on sense gratification. But if they spend on Prabhupada's books, it means they have some, especially if they buy a whole set of books, it means they have some seriousness to understand Krishna. So definitely the names of these people, we should take them and go and see them time to time and ask them, so are you reading the books? And definitely some questions will come up, some doubts will come up. So regularly meeting them and cultivating them. And in this way, they can also become Bhagavats. All devotees are supposed to be Bhagavats. Bhagavat means a devotee of Bhagavan. So when they become Bhagavats, then they can also preach to others. And in this way, the Krishna conscious movement will spread more and more and more. So now we have this set of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we didn't have in Gujarati for so many years, and we're finding that people are taking them. So we have a team of devotees here. We have a whole big state of Gujarati speakers. So let us try to distribute lots of this Srimad Bhagavatam set. This is for the book distributor. This is the Brahmastra. You have the Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Every single book we distribute, it's important. But if we can put out sets of books, if we can distribute more and more sets of books, that will be very, very powerful preaching. Anyone who reads this Srimad Bhagavatam, definitely their life is going to change, their consciousness is going to change, their whole direction of life, which is going down, everyone is going down towards hell. But if they read the Srimad Bhagavatam, definitely they're going to become devotees. So now, we were always talking before we got these sets, when are we going to get the sets? Then we can distribute so many. So now we have the sets in Hindi, English, Gujarati. So in the villages also, we should try as much as possible, distribute sets. You're also making life members. But the perfection of life membership is you make a member, give him the Bhagavatam set also. That is real solid, if you can give them a Srimad Bhagavatam set. And then again, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have some sets. They all have to be revised. But you keep the names of the Srimad Bhagavatam set, people, and then you go back later when the Chaitanya Charitamrita is fully revised, new edition, and you give them this also. And then you give them all the small books and fill up their homes with Prabhupada's books. That should be our aim. Prabhupada said that, talking about America, he said, I want a full set of my books in every home in America. So he gave the devotees enough work to do. We shouldn't think, well, we distributed so many books, we distributed enough books. But when we see that there is a full set of Prabhupada's books in every home in Gujarat, then we'll think, well, now we have a basis to begin our preaching. And then we have to go and take all the other books out. But all the other books will go out. If you put in Prabhupada's books, then gradually you'll see that all the other things will come out. People will realize. I saw this many times in Bangladesh. What happened in Bangladesh is that there were two schools of thought. There was me and everyone else. That they used to think, no, we should just don't speak, just say chant Hare Krishna and don't say that all these bogus gurus are bogus. And so people used to come to us and say, well, we read in your book and now we understand that all these bogus gurus are bogus. So why don't you speak against them? By reading the books, people come to understand what is correct and what is not correct. They understand that the actual truth is being given here. By reading these books, people automatically come to understand. If they read a little attentively and sincerely. It may take them a little time because they're accustomed to so many wrong ideas. But by reading these books, they'll come to understand that there's nothing in comparison with this. What other people are giving in the name of giving Bhagavad Gita or in the name of giving Krishna consciousness, they're simply giving some light imitation. They're not giving the substance which is there in Prabhupada's books. So definitely we have got the most powerful weapon, the most powerful weapons for changing the course of Kali Yuga. Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's movement, the holy names. So what else is there to do? Now this is the last day of our seminar. You're on the road for 1 month distributing in marathon. Now you've come back, you've rested, you've had the seminar. The last day of the seminar is here, getting some extra knowledge by which to go out. So now the bus has come, bullock cart is coming. So now there's no question. What else is there to do? Get in the bus, get out, and give the books to everybody. You can go on doing that throughout your whole life. And guaranteed, if you do that throughout your whole life, what will be the result? Krishna says, Tyaktva deyam punarja. Whoever understands me, Krishna says, he goes back to Godhead. So one time some devotees asked Prabhupada about that do we become self-realized by distributing your books? Prabhupada said, if you're distributing my books, that's already self-realization. Because to go out and take these difficulties, to go out in the heat or the cold and meet people, many times they don't want to take, or their mind is saying no. But if we go on and on and on, that means that at least to some extent, we have understood what is the desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the desire of Srila Prabhupada? To go on with this. That's surrender. Krishna says in Gita, his ultimate instruction is to surrender. But if we surrender to this preaching mission, that means we have to accept so many difficulties. If we go on with that, that means we've understood what is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Full realization that may come gradually. But by offering our life, our mind, our intelligence in the Sankirtan Yagya, offering our lives in the fire of Sankirtan, that means that for a devotee who goes on and on and on doing that throughout his life, means he's realized the purport that I am the servant of Krishna. Jivasarupai Krishna Nitya Das. So servant of Krishna means we have to serve Krishna. And serve Krishna, how does he want to be served? He wants that Jare Deko Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh, that his devotees will go on with this preaching mission. So it's many times I've said this to you, for the brahmacharis, it's the very best life. If you can travel and preach in India, still whatever culture is there in the world is here. There's no culture anywhere in the world, but still there's whatever remnants of culture, Vedic culture, they're still here. So you can take advantage of that. Travel and preach wherever you go. People will be happy to see you. They'll be very happy. They'll ask you, which country are you from? Has anyone ever asked you that question? Which country are you from? So, you're from Russia, Yugoslavia. Oh, very nice. They feel very happy that this is our culture. Our forefathers, they were following, and we're still following somewhat. And you have dedicated yourself so much. Very nice. So they see how you behave. You have to be an acharya, because they'll see how you behave. If you're up early in the morning, chanting, dancing, they'll see, just see, these people came from such a long distance, and they've dedicated their life. They've shaved their heads, and they're wearing saffron, and they're up early in the morning, and they're chanting Hare Krishna. And they think, very nice. They become charmed by that. That Prabhupada used to say, dancing white elephants. They become charmed by seeing this. And it's a very simple program. That our devotees, they go out, They chant Hare Krishna, they dance, they distribute these books, they meet people, and gradually we see the effect. How does it happen? By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, when the devotees go out among the people and meet the people, then by Lord Chaitanya, who is within everyone's heart as the super soul, he inspires people that yes, I should also do this. Let me also take to Krishna consciousness. So this is the real principle of United Nations. Otherwise, India will all, Indian, non-Indian, and within Indian there'll be Tamils and Kannadas, and there'll be North Indians and South. On the material platform there will always be so much division. But in Krishna consciousness, we all come together on the platform that we are not this body, we're the eternal servant of Krishna. Let us all serve Krishna together, without any bodily designation, without any bad feelings towards others. Simply that let us cooperate to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are very, very lucky to be in this movement. Otherwise we're all going to hell. It's not for the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So we're very lucky to be in this movement. It's a very critical time in history that after the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada, he left this movement in the hands of his followers to spread it more and more. It is a time when we can expect that Krishna consciousness will spread more and more. So let us take part in this movement. Give our mind, our life, our intelligence, our money, whatever we have, into the fire of Sankirtan. Spread this movement more and more and more. Hare Krishna. Is there any question, please?
I read somewhere that Krishna Prabhupada, on one point, he says that we must create local devotees.
Many times, not one time. Prabhupada said many times. He said that sometimes devotees would ask that please send some men. Prabhupada would say, no, you're there, you make devotees. But he also wanted Western devotees to come to India. Both things are there. Because it's very powerful for preaching, is one thing. Another thing, the Western devotees can learn so many things. I often see that devotees in the Western countries, even they may be initiated in everything, but sometimes I see that they may be somewhat doubtful of Krishna consciousness, because to the external point of view it seems like some kind of small cult, and that the whole propaganda is against you, and the whole society, the reality seems to be that life is meant for making money and enjoying life, and Krishna consciousness is just a small cult. That seems to be the reality. But when you come to India, you see that actually this is the accepted, this is